Before the world knew my face, before the flashing lights and the screaming crowds, I was just Jamie Holloway from Newcastle. I played open mic nights in dingy pubs and slept on my mate's sofa because rent was a luxury. I wrote songs about heartbreak and hope, and dreamed in guitar chords and harmonies. Fame, when it came, didn't knock politely. It smashed the door in. It all changed with one song. A raw, acoustic piece I recorded on a borrowed mic and uploaded at 2 a.m. Wander Home. That was its name. A ballad I wrote after my brother left for the army, and Mum cried every night for a week. I never thought anyone would hear it beyond my circle of friends. But it caught fire. First on local radio, then a viral post, then labels calling and offering contracts I couldn't pronounce. Overnight, I became someone. Or rather, the world decided I was. Paparazzi outside the studio, fans screaming at train stations, endless interviews asking me about inspiration as if I had planned it all. But I hadn't. I just wrote songs to stay sane. In the blur of it all, people came and went. Managers, stylists, journalists. Some were kind. Most weren't. They wanted a piece of Jamie Holloway, but not the boy who missed home, not the one who still called his mum every Sunday. Fame was noisy, and in all that noise, kindness became a whisper I could barely hear. Then came Florence. She wasn't famous. She wasn't chasing anything. I met her in a quiet bookshop in Camden, the kind that smells of dust and forgotten stories. I was trying to escape the rain and the world, hoodie up, sunglasses on. I knocked over a stack of poetry books reaching for a copy of Auden. "You're not very graceful, are you?" she said, crouching to help. She looked at me and blinked. Not in recognition. Just in slight amusement. "You don't strike me as the poetry type." "I'm full of surprises," I replied. She smiled, and it was like no one had smiled at me in years without wanting something. She didn't ask for a photo. She didn't even ask my name. Her hands brushed mine as we picked up the books. "I'm Florence." "You are?" I hesitated, then said, "Jamie." "Nice to meet you, Jamie." And that was it. We spoke about books. She told me she worked in community theater. She loved kids and hated coffee. She wore mismatched socks and quoted Shakespeare casually, as if it were normal. I didn't want the conversation to end. We went for tea. She took me to a tiny cafe run by a couple in their 60s who still called each other darling. She laughed at my jokes, and I forgot about the tour schedule, the PR meetings, the constant performance of being Jamie Holloway. For the first time in months, I felt like myself. I didn't tell her who I was that day. I didn't want to ruin it. We met again. Then again. I told my manager I needed a week off, which nearly gave him a heart attack. I didn't care. I wanted to walk along the canal with Florence. I wanted to talk about life and fears and memories. She asked questions no journalist ever did. "What scares you the most?" "Losing my brother." "Forgetting who I was before this?" She nodded, not with pity, but understanding. After a month, I told her the truth. She stared at me for a moment, then said, "That explains the sunglasses indoors." I braced myself, but she didn't ask for tickets or selfies. She just said, "Fame doesn't impress me, Jamie. Kindness does." I fell for her that day. But fame is greedy. It doesn't like to be ignored. Paparazzi found us. Photos splashed across tabloids. Jamie Holloway's mystery girl. Reporters camped outside her flat. Fans speculated and criticized. Some called her a nobody. Others accused her of chasing clout. She stayed quiet, graceful, but I saw the toll it took. One night, I found her crying in her kitchen, her hands trembling. I didn't ask for this, Jamie. I didn't ask to be torn apart by people who don't know me. I held her. I know. I'm so sorry. Do you regret meeting me? Never. Do you regret meeting me? She looked at me, eyes red but certain. Not even a little. We went away for a while. I took her to Northumberland, to the cliffs where I used to walk as a boy. We watched the sea crash against the rocks and talked about everything but fame. There, she smiled again. There, we healed. In the silence, I wrote a new song. One just for her. It wasn't for the charts. It wasn't for the crowd. It was for Florence. For the girl who reminded me that kindness isn't loud, but it is powerful. When I performed it at a charity concert a year later, I didn't introduce it. I just played. And when the last note hung in the air, the room was quiet. Moved. Later, a fan tweeted, Jamie Holloway sang like he was in love. I was. Fame had taken so much. My privacy, my peace, parts of myself I didn't know I could lose. But it had also led me to her. To the girl in the bookshop who didn't care about charts or numbers. Who remembered my name when the world only knew my face. We're quieter now. I still make music. She still runs her theater group. We live in a small house with too many books and a garden she's always trying to rescue. Every morning, she makes tea and says, "Good morning, Jamie," like it's the most natural thing in the world. And every morning, I remember that kindness, in the end, is the only thing worth being famous for. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more unforgettable stories that touch the heart and remind us what truly matters.